Hi, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Edmondson. I'm in the School of Education in the Department of Teaching and Learning, and I look forward to speaking with you today about our secondary science and mathematics programs. We hope that if you are a RAM, you want to continue to be a RAM, and if you're not a RAM, you're missing something and you'll enjoy becoming a RAM. So the VCU School of Education has about 175 instructional, teaching, and research faculty, and we have about 188 scholarships that have been awarded over 3 years. We rank 11th in the U.S. News and World Report Best Public Graduate School of Education. We rank 3rd for having best online programs. And we've raised a significant amount of external research funding, which helps support our doc students and helps us to be a contributor to improving our community. We have 17,000 alumni worldwide. We're accredited by a number of different agencies. KCREP is for our counseling group. The Virginia Department of Education helps us with all programs that are lead to licensure, which the programs I'm going to tell you about today are part of. And then CAPE is our accreditation for all educator preparatory programs as well. So anything that leads to licensure usually has multiple accreditation agencies. We have a wonderful, diverse faculty. As I mentioned earlier, we have about 175. Folks are recognized internationally. They're leaders in both education and research. And they have many tools that they use, and they enjoy tremendously guiding and supporting students who are in our programs. And you can see I'm one of those. So we have 5 undergraduate programs, 2 doctoral programs that have 8 tracks, 2 master's programs that have 6 tracks and 15 concentration. And I'm going to talk to you today about the master's programs. We also have 13 certificate and endorsement programs that don't directly lead to licensure, but you can, through a school district, many times get a pay raise or licensure come about as a result of that. So for our undergraduate programs, the only one we have at the secondary level is one in engineering education. It's very new. Districts are adding engineering and science and math as part of their STEM initiatives, and we're very proud to be the first program in the state to license folks in this area. And would be glad to talk to you about that option as well. These are some of the master's programs that we have. We're going to talk about the 2 down, we're going to talk about one of them down here at the bottom. We're a Master's of Teaching, or MT, in secondary education, and then there are multiple concentrations. VCU works by having what we call an extended program. So if you're an undergraduate and then you're going to roll straight into the master's program, you still have to apply to graduate school. But if you're going to make that transition, what we consider that is that is part of an extended program. You're essentially in a 5-year program, and at the end of the 5 years, you get 2 degrees. And this is true for both secondary and elementary. If you've already finished your degree, that is fine. We'll bring you in and you'll just start on your master's. We have several science and math teaching specialties. Math really is just one area. In science, we have biology, chemistry, physics, and earth science. And our science program leads to licensure in each of those areas. So when you get into the program, there are a number of courses you take. There's 33 credit hours roughly. And then one of the classes that you take is a teaching methodology. If you're in science, it's with me. If you're in math, it's with a math person that we have on board. These classes, many of our teaching classes are in the evenings. We have a couple that are during the day. It usually takes 3 semesters to get through all of the coursework. You'll have a middle school and a high school practica experience. That's where you get to go out into the schools and work with a teacher, depending on which of the practica you're in, for different amounts of time. And then you take the methods course just before you student teach. And that's where I was really referring to. You get to take a class with me if you're in science. And then there's also a seminar during your student teaching. And if you're in science and math, then I work with those folks. Currently, we have 12 science and 4 math MT students, and this varies year to year. And so nothing to worry about. Most of our students are full-time. We do have a few folks that go through part-time. And there are ways to do that. It just takes you longer to get licensed. This program is for folks that are interested in STEM or teaching in the STEM areas. With an MT program, what it's going to lead to is our being able to recommend you for a teaching license, and then you get hired by a district. There's also an option that we have through only one program where you can get an MED, and that can lead to licensure, but that runs through a school district. One of the neat things about being in the science methods course is that we spend a lot of time thinking about planning and teaching and assessing of learning, but we also go to the state science conference and present to our peers. There are a couple of ways to fund this master's work. There is a Virginia Teaching Scholarship Loan Program. There are certain requirements. They want you to be willing to teach in critical shortage areas. Science and math are those. They want you to work in areas where there are lots of high needs, what we call high needs school districts. Usually those involve a lot of minority students in our bigger urban districts. And also, if you're male and you'd be interested in elementary or middle school, that can help you get that funding as well. There are many fewer men in elementary, and you're wonderful role models in both elementary and middle school. A program that I coordinate is called the VCU Noise Scholarship Program. You can come in as a senior, you're rising senior, and get $10,000. And then as an MT student, as a master's student, you can get $14,500 towards your tuition. For each of the years of support you get, you have 2 years of teaching in a high needs school district. And a high needs school district in Virginia is, at least in this area, it's Richmond, Chesterfield, Henrico, Petersburg, Amelia, but one of the nice things about this scholarship is you can teach anywhere in the country that is high needs. And you just report back to me through a note signed by your principal that you've finished that year. This is funded by the National Science Foundation, and there is an application process for that. It's on the webpage and this link here as well. And what we really want is to provide high achieving STEM majors the opportunity to teach. And we were trying to make it affordable for you. We also have a residency model that up until recently was just for Richmond, and then we added Petersburg. But now this wonderful residency model also has Henrico and Chesterfield. And in the residency model, you start taking classes in May, and then you finish the next June. So you take courses all during the summer. Then the first day of school, when teachers go back in September, you join a teacher in a classroom and you spend the whole year with them. This link down at the bottom will get you more information, and I'm also glad to meet with you and talk to you about any of these scholarships. So how do you get into the program? Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to apply to graduate school. There's an online application through the university. You take the GRE, the MAT is no longer allowed by the program, but the GRE you take, and you'll need 3 references and transcripts from all your previous institutions, as well as a statement of intent. Why do you want to teach? What's drawing you to the VCU program? So this is the first step. And this is important. Once you've gotten through this step, then there's some other things that you need to do. The next step is to get into the teacher prep program. So the first step gets you into graduate school and into the School of Education. But to be in the teacher preparation, which is what the MT is, there's another application where you'll also complete it online. You'll take a state test called the VCLA, Praxis 2 in your subject area. Oops. And then you'll also have an application when it's time to get ready for student teaching. And myself, being the advisor for science and mathematics, I work with you through this whole process. So don't fret. If you've got questions, please feel free to email me. If you get stumped during the process, feel free to contact me or Dr. Lenhart, who's our recruitment specialist. We'd be glad to work with you. We hope to hear from you soon. We hope that you will become part of the VCU Rams, and we hope you have had a good semester, or your life is going well right now. And thank you for joining us today.